We are all like the bright moon. We still have our darker side. Your living is determined not so much by what life brings to you, as by the attitude you bring to life. The deeper that sorrow carves into your being, the more joy you can contain. In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. To understand the heart and mind of a person, look not at what he has already achieved, but at what he is striving for. Men who do not forgive women for their little flaws will never enjoy their great virtues. Out of suffering have emerged the strongest souls. The most massive characters are seared with scars. The smallest act of kindness is worth more than the grandest intention. Progress lies not in enhancing what is, but in advancing toward what will be. There are two people in a man. One is awake in the darkness. The other is sleeping in the light. The optimist sees the rose, not the thorns. The pessimist looks at the thorns, ignoring the rose. If you love somebody, let them go, for if they return, they were always yours. And if they don't, they never were. The teacher who is indeed wise does not bid you to enter the house of his wisdom, but rather leads you to the threshold of your mind. It is good to give when asked, but it is better to give without asking, foreseeing. Our anxiety does not come from thinking about the future, but from wanting to control it. Generosity is giving more than you can, and pride is taking less than you need. The appearance of things changes according to the emotions, and thus we see magic and beauty in them, while the magic and beauty are really in ourselves. To be able to look back upon one's life in satisfaction is to live twice. It has always been so that the depth of love is known only in the hour of separation. Tenderness and kindness are not signs of weakness and despair, but manifestations of strength and resolution. Your reason and your passion are the rudder and the sails of your seafaring soul. You talk when you cease to be at peace with your thoughts. Your pain is the breaking of the shell that encloses your understanding. The real measure of your wealth is how much you'd be worth if you lost all your money. A little knowledge that acts is worthy infinitely more than much knowledge that is idle. Faith is an oasis in the heart which will never be reached by the caravan of thinking. Friendship is always a sweet responsibility, not an opportunity. Love one another, but make not a bond of love. Let it rather be a moving sea between the shores of your souls. Doubt is a pain too lonely to know that faith is his twin brother. You are the bows from which your children, as living arrows, are sent forth. Life without love is like a tree without blossoms or fruit. The basis of wisdom is self-knowledge. It takes a minute to have a crush on someone, an hour to like someone, and a day to love someone. But it takes a lifetime to forget someone. Love is not just a feeling of passion or desire, but a commitment to the well-being of another person. Yesterday is but today's memory, and tomorrow is today's dream. A single tear that flashes on an old man's wrinkled cheek has a stronger effect on the soul than all the tears shed by a young man. Sorrow is a fruit. God does not make it grow on limbs too weak to bear it. The true wealth of a nation lies not in its gold or silver, but in its learning, wisdom, and in the uprightness of its sons. Faith is a knowledge within the heart, beyond the reach of proof. Kindness, which admires itself in the mirror, turns into stone. And a good deed, which calls itself beautiful names, becomes the parent of a curse. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. During middle age, beware of women without a sense of responsibility and a moral compass. They may lead you to astray and into situations that can have lasting consequences on your life. Instead, seek strong values, clear goals, and kind hearts. In the sweetness of friendship, let there be laughter. For in the dew of little things the heart finds its morning and is refreshed. When someone constantly appears in your dreams, it means they found a way into the secret chambers of your heart. We choose our joys and sorrows long before we experience them. A loving woman will forgive everything, but will not forget anything. It is a mistake to think that love grows out of a long-term friendship and persistent flirtations. Love is the fruit of the spiritual closeness, and if closeness does not arise in a second, it will not arise either in years or in generations. The only way to help yourself is to help others.